Hey everyone, welcome back to the garden. I think it's time to refresh some of our containers with fall annuals. So come garden with, not sure if it's going to be us or me today, but come garden and let's refresh some of our containers with pretty fall annuals, as you can see behind me. And I'll turn you around, we can talk about what we got. So I have a lot of stuff here, and as usual I've forgotten what I bought to go with what and in what containers. We're not going to do every container, but some of them do want some cleanup, and some, maybe one or two of the plants in a container needs to be switched. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And let me show you what I got. So we're on our hay rack on the deck. I have 2 celosias, 2 black petunias, which I love, and a pretty kind of bronzy red mum. I have some sweet potato vine here. This is a really interesting one I saw from Proven Winners. It's kind of neat because the new foliage is green, and then I guess it turns burgundy. Not sure what this one is called. Let's take a look at the tag. Some of these need to be watered. It's called Proven Accent Sweet Caroline Sweetheart Mahogany. So I really like that one. I think this one is going to go on the side with our dahlia container. But so I got a green sweet potato vine as well. It's just an unbranded one. I have another black petunia here. I got this one at work. I thought I got another one, but maybe not. I have a pretty fiery orange mum, a white salvia. This is another mum called Vitamum, lively red bicolor. You can see that, kind of like pretty yellow with a orangey center. That one was going to go in our container on our patio with our dahlia, which is also kind of like an orangey yellow. It was going to replace the Gomphrena and the little lavender calibrachoa. They're looking so good, I don't know if I have the heart to pull them out. So we'll see. We may have more plants here than we know what to do with. This pretty ornamental pepper with kind of like red and yellow and orange peppers, I think is going to go with this red salvia. Maybe the grass. I have another ornamental pepper here with the dark foliage. You see that? Dark foliage and some pretty round orangey yellow peppers. I have one of the Pennisetum. It doesn't have a tag in it. Pretty sure it's just the red fountain grass. Another euphorbia, and then I got 2 salvias because some of our salvias are looking a little ragged by this time. This is called Victoria Blue. I thought I was going to replace some of those. So this is one of the containers where I thought the salvia kind of needed to be replaced. It's kind of leaning. I think there was a purple petunia in here. For some reason, not purple, black. Our black petunias took quite a bit of hit this year from, as well as some of our calibrachoa. This one was going to get replaced because it's kind of half gone. I think from spider mites. The geranium looks okay. I was just cleaning that up a little bit. So I didn't really plan on replacing the geranium. Sweet potato vine is going to replace the calibrachoa here. I'm guessing I could probably just tuck that right in and hide the calibrachoa that looks really bad. So maybe we'll do that. This container is going to get the pretty orange mum, the white salvia, and the pepper, the ornamental pepper. Probably could fit a 4th one in here, so maybe we can fit the grass in here. We'll see how that goes. And then this container here out in our Thin Man bed, which has a pretty kind of salmony pink dahlia in there, is going to receive the dark foliage plants because the dahlia itself has a little bit of a dark foliage tint. So it's going to receive that pretty Proven Winners sweet potato vine and the ornamental pepper with the dark foliage. I'm guessing I'm probably going to pull the salvia. Definitely pulling the calibrachoa. Not 100% sure about the salvia. And then we have this container here that is at the start of the path that goes from our garage and driveway to our backyard. This one has actually looked the best all summer. Although the Suncredible Saturn died. So the replacement you see here is this pretty, I believe it's a fall sunflower called Sunstruck. So I thought that would be pretty to replace the Suncredible Saturn. Same color theme. It'll survive the winter in the container because it's a frost-free container, and then we can plant it in the landscape next year or just leave it in the container. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is go around and pull out all the plants that I'm getting rid of. So in this container, the verbena and the supertunia, or just the petunias, those are going. So hopefully these come out easily. I mean, obviously they've been in here since May. All right, so they came out pretty easily. I wasn't trying to get all that dirt, but we do have a bag of potting soil in case we need to top up anything. And I'm also trying not to make a huge mess. So I hope some in the back that we're going to be able to get these plants in here. I'm not sure if that euphorbia is going to fit. That might fit. We'll see. So in this container, I already deadheaded some of the dahlia. It has some spent blooms on it. There's a couple of new buds. I honestly don't know that we're going to get much more flowering out of this because we don't get a heck of a lot of sun on the patio at this time of the year. Just going to go ahead and pull the gomphrena. It's kind of floppy. Looks well rooted in, but we'll see. Yeah, that's what I was afraid was going to happen. Just kind of broke off at the stalk. And I'm also going to pull the calibrachoa, and I'm going to save the euphorbia. I mean, it's pretty, but time for pink and blue is over. This one should be hopefully a little bit easier since it's halfway missing anyway. And as you can see, I already have all the plants I'm going to be putting in these containers placed. So this one, just replacing the salvia in here. We already lost a black petunia, pulled that out ages ago, so that's what this is for. Some of these are quite well rooted. Hoping, yeah, that should fit. This one might just be getting dumped. I wish we had gotten some more potting soil. Some of these are just really proving to be difficult. Yeah. This euphorbia is going to go in the container with the lantana, and the cabbage and the creeping Jenny. This one did not get watered, at least not well enough. This is a colored up red cabbage. And then just your standard creeping Jenny. I don't think there's anything. Creeping Jenny yellow. I actually think that needs some soil in there. All right, we'll come around later and clean that up and get them watered. Does it need anything in there? I feel like I wanted the cabbage to be forward there. Okay, on to the next. Oh, some kind of funky beetle in there. So let's see. I think I want, no, I want to put the mum there, salvia there.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit bigger, the container. I think I'm going to have to take some more of this dirt out. And hopefully, I think these are dahlia roots. So hopefully, I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. Get that in there. My husband is going to do the hay rack because it's quite bouncy on the railing. And I'll just be a bull in the china shop with this one. Definitely need to get a new liner for this next season. I'm just trying to clean out this container a little bit more. So this is the aster. I think I mentioned that I got an aster for in here too. Pulled out the calibrachoa. This is called Dragon Blue. I don't usually see asters in these smaller containers, so I'm kind of glad I found this one because I think the combination of the pink geranium and the chartreuse of the sweet potato vine is going to be a pretty combination. I already showed you the sweet potato vine. It's just an unbranded. Hopefully there's enough room because that euphorbia has quite a big root ball. This is just called Sweet George Light Green Sweet Potato Vine. I believe it's unbranded. It's never easy doing containers. It's always very messy. Just kind of got to deal with the mess and know that you're going to clean it up later. And for annuals, especially annuals for the fall, I think I mentioned this when we did our fall containers last year. You don't need to be as meticulous as you would for spring annuals. These are going to be in the ground or in the container a lot less and for a lot less time than annuals that you would plant in the spring. So I don't worry too much about getting them perfect. They're not going to have a lot of time to root in anyway, so you can kind of squeeze the root balls, just jam them in. That's what we do for container classes in the fall at the garden center. Nothing is done with quite as much precision as we do it in the spring because we know these annuals are not going to be in these containers for long. Will be perfectly fine. You can come along and fertilize them a couple times. Hopefully the temperatures are not as hot so they don't struggle as much. I think what we're going to do too, my husband will turn the camera to the umbrella, is put the umbrella down so maybe these containers get a little bit more sun, because I feel like just last week when I showed you guys the annuals, this geranium had a lot more pink on it. But just seems like at this time of the year, the sun sinks more quickly towards the fall horizon. And where we were getting sun before, we're all of a sudden not. So I did clean up the geranium a little bit more, but I think if we put the umbrella down, these annuals will get a little bit more sun. I mean, the geranium does have some new buds, so I want them to open. I just wanted to point that out real quick. And my husband can show you this container from up here with the pretty celosia, the black petunias, and the bronze mum. I feel like the petunias are not both shaped the same, so it looks a little bit different. But once we get everything cleaned up, we'll take another one quick look around. Because we're working with a larger pot here that the salvia is in, my husband is going to do this one. Just have an easier time with him getting in there, holding things out of the way, and getting some of that soil out than I do, because quite a bit of soil has to come out of this container in order to fit the salvia. Probably gonna have to do the same thing on the side in the container that the dahlia is in, because that container is quite a bit smaller than this one. This container is not necessarily being refreshed with fall annuals. It's really just being refreshed with what was already in this container. But it's such a pretty color combination. This one would definitely benefit from some fertilizer to bring out the pinks, I feel like, in the Calibrachoa. And again, putting that umbrella down, I feel like maybe will help this dahlia develop some more buds. Okay, while my husband is finishing up on the deck, I am going to start on this container because it's getting late. So in this one, I decided to use this mountain grass, but I thought we were going to have a hard time figuring out where to put this, quite root bound. But I think we have room in here for that. Wow. All right, let's go see the one that my husband's finishing up. Just cleaning it up a little bit. You can see pretty black petunia now. It's a gorgeous fire engine red dahlia and the blue salvia. The Calibrachoa is wet, so it's facing downwards, but at least it looks fresh. Okay, we got two more to do. So we're going to try to get this done before the sun sinks below the horizon. I'm going to be doing the container at the very beginning of our path down there. My husband's going to do this one. Yeah, we're replacing an annual in here with a perennial, and it's called Sunstruck False Sunflower. It is 14 to 16 inches high, 12 to 14 inches wide. Hardy in zones 4 through 9, full to part sun, which is what we'll get here. Obviously, this salvia looks the best of any that we just replaced because it is getting a little bit more sun here. Blooms late summer. It's a native. Obviously, it has the really pretty variegated leaves, and it's a false sunflower, but it looks a little bit like the Suncredible Saturn. All right, since this is a bigger container, it's not a little pint annual. I really needed to get a lot of soil out of this container. It just does not want to come out. There we go. It's not really root bound. No, too deep. And since this is going to stay in here for the winter, we're going to try to be a little bit more meticulous with this one and make sure we get enough soil up against the side of the container. I feel like the salvia needs a little bit more soil too. I'm just going to add some back here. You don't see it as much as you would have seen the Suncredible Saturn because those are incredible, very tall. But you do see the pretty colors. And since the Calibrachoa and the Verbena are kind of pinky peachy, kind of does have a fall vibe. So that's the last one that we have to do today. All right, we're going to start over here on the patio. This is the first container that we did with the euphorbia, the cabbage, and the creeping Jenny. The lantana was in this container already, and it was really, really good, so we just kept it in there. The second container we did also on our patio, we have kept the dahlia and the euphorbia. We added a red salvia and a bicolored mum, which is the yellow mum with it's kind of yellowy orange with a red center. And then our hay rack, we have 2 black petunias, 2 magenta colored celosia, and a bronze mum. Very dark, kind of Halloweeny season, which I love. Then again on our deck, we just refreshed some plants in these containers. The container with the pink geranium and the euphorbia, those stayed in this container. We planted those in the spring. We just added the sweet potato vine and the pretty blue aster. Pretty combination. And again, this container we just refreshed. We kept the dahlia and we kept the pink calibrachoa. So in this container, we replaced the black petunia that we had already had in here earlier in the season, and it died. I think it was taken out by spider mites, and we replaced the salvia that just kind of needed a refresh. Over here at the end of our walkway, or the beginning, depending on which way you're going, we replaced all of the annuals in this container with an ornamental pepper in red and orange, a reddish orangey marigold, a white salvia, and a penisatum rubrum. And then as we make our way down the path here, this container in our Thuya Thin Man bed, again, as you just saw, received the sweet potato vine, the dark foliage, ornamental pepper, and a new salvia. And the dahlia was already in the container, and we just saved that. Okay, guys, thanks for coming along with us today on our fall container refresh. I'm Desiree.
And I'm Rob.
And we're the Restless Gardeners. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.